Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Burnout Culture. I think this is episode 57, 58, somewhere around there. My name's GC, and I will be one of your three beautiful hosts this evening.
Hello, my name is Cullen. I will be an old man.
Hello, my name is Hayes, and I've been an old man for a few years already.
We've been old men for quite some time.
I become middle-aged in a week. Exactly a week, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Happy late birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Is middle age like 35?
I don't know. I feel like it is.
Hell no.
I asked people on Blue Sky, but I didn't get a
45.
definitive answer if it was.
Then it's not. I think like 45, 50 is middle aged. That's what I think. That's because like ideally you live until like you're in your 80s, right?
Mhm.
Like I don't think middle age literally means middle of life expectancy. I think middle age is more like it's like a state of mind, you know? It's like you hit like a certain point in your life where you're like, okay, I am over the hill, as they say.
Yeah. So it was more like the 35 is something though, right? Because it's like the halfway to 40. It feels big.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't feel the same as 25. Like when I was 25, I wasn't like, oh, halfway to 30. But like halfway to 40, I'm like, damn, yeah, it's been a while, you know?
Yeah.
I'm turning 34 this year, so I will be there next year alongside you in the weird state of halfway to 40. Anyway, we didn't record last week.
No, because I didn't want to.
Yeah, pretty much all of us were like,
I don't think
Not this one.
I don't think any of us felt it, honestly.
No.
It was one of those cases where the video game news was so much that we in fact were burnt out. We could not. We were too burnt out to do an episode, so we were like, fuck it.
Hey, for me, it was just like, I'm about to turn 30. I don't want to do a podcast.
Yeah, you were having an existential crisis over becoming 1 year older.
Yeah, I've been having one for about a week.
Yeah, I know.
It happens.
I know.
Yeah. Believe me, I feel like I'm right there with you.
I think I went through all my existential aging thing when I was a little younger, so I'm just kind of like not. I don't know. I don't feel it. I know a lot of people say they do, and like I believe y'all, but like I've never really like felt that. I've never felt that sensation too much. I think I'm just like I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna live forever still. Like that's where my brain is at.
I mean, that's the healthy thing to do.
I guess.
And not be like stuck being like, fuck, I'm chopped.
Yeah.
It's over.
But moving that out of the way, because we were gone for an extra week, we did get up to a couple other things. I think we all used it to recharge. I went to go visit Cullen in Virginia for his birthday.
Yes.
That was fun. And he introduced me to a game.
We
should
did
talk about that one.
Because on my birthday eve, I was hanging out with some friends and I was browsing Steam. And you know, like I have this habit when I'm crashing out where I want to purchase things. Yeah. So I was like, you know, I was on Steam and I was like, you know, I was ready to spend some money. So I remember people were talking about a little indie game called Incident at Galley House. And I was like, okay, it's not on sale right now, but you know, I wasn't in the mood to buy an on sale game. So I decided to just check this game out. And let me tell you, after about a week, I like literally moments before this podcast, I finished it up. It's pretty damn cool. I think that's where I've landed on it ultimately, where it's just like it is a very unique kind of mystery game where the journey is better than the destination, but that journey is so interesting to figure out that like you're kind of just cool with like whatever. Because the main gimmick is you show up to this like abandoned house where like murders took place. in the 30s, just like a bunch of suspicious deaths. And you go in, there's this machine set up in front of you, and your goal is to like this machine can go back and view things at a point in time based off of the room of the house, the like time of day, which is considered like a scene, and the people in it. And the rest of the game is pieced together by deduction. It is entirely like you, based on things that other people say, trying to figure out what happened here bit by bit. And it's like, because it's deduction based and you're trying to like, piece together the story and find new scenes by like things people say to each other. It's like also told a bit non-linearly as well.
Yes.
It's really cool. Like it's kind of similar to
well, it's because of the fact that you have to deduce where people were and when that it's told non-linearly, because like your deduction could be like the thing you figure out could be different from the thing somebody else figures out, or it could be different from like the events following right after one another.
And it's really cool because you start with this like empty slate of like literally like silhouettes, because you don't know who any of these people are because there were no records of any identities at the house. Like it just, you get a newspaper that says like a bunch of dead bodies that we've never, like they're unidentifiable or in this house. And so you're going through and trying to attach like faces and names to these people based on context clues, while also trying to piece together all the scenes possible and figure out where every single person was at every instance of this house, even as like people start dying. And it's really cool. It's kind of like about as much as I can get into without like just spoiling stuff that happened. But we started playing this game at like around like midnight or 1-ish. And then we were just like, oh shit, it's 5. Oops. And then
I came over.
And then GC came over and I was like, you should play this game.
And then I did.
And then like, I just kind of like, but it was really funny. I gave GC the controller, and as someone who had pieced together about half of the game already at that point with my group, I just had to be like quiet and nod as GC was coming up with these theories and just be like, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, maybe that guy's Oswald Thornton. Yeah, that's a really good idea. You should keep down that line of thought.
Well, like I was just like working off of like it's very fun. Like I love Sherlock Holmes. And this game, I love games that make me feel like I'm Sherlock Holmes. So I love playing a game, and the entire premise is here's a scenario, and you have to piece together, like you have to work your way backwards, and that's what basically Sherlock Holmes does. He just listens and is very perceptive, and that's how he solves problems. And that's the entire game. The whole game is just a perception check.
Yeah.
Like, did you notice this? Did you notice that? And the game kind of like tricks you. I like the way that the game tricks you into like, so it's all built off of audio logs. It might as well be like a radio drama.
It's an audio book,
right?
pretty much.
Yeah. But there are visual cues in like every room of the manor has its own interior. Like it has like an actual, like when you get the audio file, it like brings up the image of the room, and then like where the characters are standing and what they're doing in the room as they're talking. And like you can use that to deduce things, which is what I did in one particular scene. And Cullen was like out, but he came back in and I was like, oh, check it out. He's like, oh, did you figure that out? I was like, yeah, look. And then he saw that I had a scene unlocked that he had not gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, how did you figure that out? And I was like, well, because this thing is in the background of this room. And I in another scene, you can hear that object from the other scene in the other room. And I figured, well, if this is just moments before this happens, then surely something happens in that room with regards to that object and this person.
And
like,
it's like,
yeah.
because of that, it's really cool because if you just use deduction or like because you can't just wildly make guesses. Like you could, but like, if you make even like some like leaps of logic based off information you get, you can just like find stuff in like moments you're really not supposed to find it. And it like skews your perception of the mystery as you go. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool that a game, I'll go into it a little later, but like there's mystery games that they don't account for your ability to think of things that the person making them wouldn't think of, right? But this game's really cool in that if you actually deduce something with other information that the person making the game did not think, because the game has it's not like a hint system. It just tells you, oh, hey, from this conversation, there's like other scenes you can find, right? With the information that is in this scene, there are 2, 3, 4 scenes you can find, right? If you find one that the person that made the game did not think of, that's not it's not like a sequence breaking thing. It's not a bad thing. It is simply like still part of the game itself. Like it still funnels into the core gameplay, which is, are you perceptive enough to like identify these things or whatever? It's really cool. And it's also so far anyway written pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as mystery dramas go, I was very compelled. I was like, oh, I get it. And I was very happy to find out because I got home, and the first thing I did when I got home
Let's go play something.
Was booted up. And I was really happy to see that the initial like gimmick actually isn't as simple as it's actually not as simple as it is initially presented to be, right? And I don't want to spoil it, but like there's a thing that is going on, but it has rules to it, and you learn what the rules to that are as you continue to play. And I'm like, that's really neat, because it means they didn't just do a story and go, oh, this is the gimmick, and then that's the whole story. It's like it evolves and expands from there. Really cool game. Just a great reminder. I don't know if you have anything else to say about Galley, because I have a great way to segue from this.
Yeah, I mean, I got a little, just like I want to like vaguely kind of gesture towards my thoughts on it, like now that I finished it, and it's like I do wish I liked it a bit more.
Fair,
but I think that's ultimately because it's just like how they chose to like handle the main mystery, I guess, like the ultimate truth of the situation. I was like, it's a bit silly.
Okay,
it's not bad.
Okay,
I definitely liked it. Like I feel better about that than I did with because I did Obra Dinn on like one lonely Sunday in which I had nothing going on, and I left that being so like, oh, that was very stupid.
I guess I didn't know that Galley House is based on a text-based browser game called
Yes, it was an itch.io game.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then they essentially like remade it, but it's more like a spiritual sequel, I guess. The same people that did the itch.io game that did this one.
Yeah.
Where it's like way more done up and stuff, but you can play the original as its own thing, I think, if I remember right. It was such a cool concept. I think that's the same reason that I liked Obra Dinn from what I played of it. I want to go back to that too, because I love
Obra Dinn's.
I love games.
They're very similar in like with their progression systems, because like Obra Dinn is about like you have all these scenes and you're trying to piece together the crew based off the scenes, and you unravel a mystery as you do that. I think my only thing with like with Obra Dinn, I didn't like it ultimately because I thought the story, like when you find out what Obra Dinn is actually about, I think that'll work for some people and not for others. Like I feel like even though the game is super old, I just don't want to say it.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of
well, don't spoil it.
No, obviously, but I'm just saying like that is the similar thing where it's like wow, where you guys were building up to, I just didn't like. I just was not in. I wasn't interested in that. But at the very least, I think I'll remember Galley House fondly more than Obra Dinn. I think my only thing is that it's like with Galley House, I feel like if you solve it early, like mentally kind of like get an idea on what is happening, it does feel a bit long in the teeth. Like it's kind of like, oh, okay.
If you happen to deduce the mystery before you are technically done, in other words.
Yeah, and I don't think that's hard to do. But like that doesn't mean the game's bad. I thought it was really cool.
Well, I think the reason I bring it back to the Sherlock Holmes thing is that with Sherlock Holmes, it's that's kind of like how I don't mean to toot my own horn. I'm very good at guessing the mystery, and partly because I don't one of the easiest ways to like be really good at solving a mystery is to never treat anything as a fact until you can absolutely prove it. And like if you do that, it's very easy to solve a lot of mysteries because you just kind of like have a lot of floating variables that eventually get locked in, and then that narrows down a lot of stuff. But like the reason I love Sherlock Holmes as like a concept is that the mystery is already, and Columbo to that extent too, where it's like the mystery is already solved, like but the trick is to find a way to prove it to someone else. Right. And that's always like the compelling part of like good mystery detective stuff is when you and the assumedly the main character both know, but you need to find a way to convince somebody else, and you need to like actually have enough proof to make it undeniable. And I think that's the secret to like a great mystery. We'll see how I feel when I get to the end of Galley House, but I think like
I'm glad I played it.
Oh my god! I mean, it's very clearly like super fun to play.
I think that's the big thing where I'm like, I think how they designed that early section where you're just like having to figure everything out, really smart. Like these guys clearly knew what they were doing.
Yeah, and that's like what I wanted to say is it's really cool to play a video game that remembers what a video game is supposed to be. And that's not that it's fun. It's that video games are video format games. Games with video format.
Yeah.
When we went to the hobby store and I pointed out that Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective board game, because after I played Galley House, I was like, this is exactly what that is, just with a booklet. Like you do the exact same thing of you have all these locations, you have like some background info, and then you have to figure out where to go to talk to people, and that's basically it. You get a scene by picking a place to go, and then you use the information in that scene to piece together the mystery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I think just recently, like there is sort of like a reminder that I'm being given with a lot of games I'm playing. And it's that a lot of the games that I have the most fun playing are games that a lot of the video games that I'm playing, that I'm having a lot of fun playing, are games that don't necessarily need to be video games in order for me to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Or in order for me to play them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like games that are very simple and are just taking a non-video game thing and putting it in a video game form for like convenience or presentation or whatever. And that's what Galley House is. In a similar vein, I've been playing like we've been talking about the industry for a while. And I finally like I keep saying it on the podcast and on social media. It's like, I'm just gonna, you can just turn around and go play older games and still have a lot of fun because there's a lot of stuff you haven't played on there. And I bet there's like a ton of good stuff. And I finally decided to put my money where my mouth was, and I started doing that. So I'm going through like the NES library. I grabbed a bunch of games for the NES, and I'm going through them. The first one that I played that is really, really good and was like such a great thing that I played that one first because it like immediately proved me right. Was Crystalis on the NES. Do either of you know what Crystalis is?
I do.
No, besides you telling me like over lunch, be like, bro, this Crystalis shit ain't nothing to frown at.
Hayes, what do you know about Crystalis?
I vaguely remember playing it a long time. It's an RPG, right?
Yes.
I don't remember much about it, but I do know I played it when I was a kid. Like only when I was like 6 years old, I want to say. Is it like Shining Force at all?
It might be. I haven't played Shining Force yet.
That's kind of what I'm
Is
thinking
it like an SRPG?
Okay, so you've played the original Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah.
You've played the original Dragon Quest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have I told you? What have I told you that SNK?
Oh, it is SNK, yeah.
SNK in the 90s, I think. It was like 91. Made an RPG that is a blend of the original Legend of Zelda and the first Dragon Quest. And it is easily, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not being hyperbolic, it easily belongs in the same conversation as those two other games when we talk about like legendary old classic video games. And somehow the only people that talk about it are the unks.
You know why I remember it? I'm looking at it now. Is it had a GBA version? That's what I played, was the GBA version. Or Game Boy Color, I'm sorry.
It is. They say that one version isn't as good as the original, but I haven't like taken a look at it to know for sure.
Not be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me. So it's Legend of Zelda Exploration. Okay. Legend of Zelda Exploration. With a much better told story because people actually talk to you and tell you things. Okay. However, when you kill enemies, you accrue XP. It is almost perfectly balanced in that when you get to the end of the game, you're basically one level away from the level cap. And you collect XP, you collect items and equipment. You collect gold to buy new equipment with. Like it's like a perfect fusion of those two things. But the game's like dungeon design is really neat because you need certain items to get through the dungeons. So you need like certain elemental attacks. Everybody in the game is really good at telling you where you need to go and what you need to do without being like overtly obvious about it. It's like really well structured, well written, better than Dragon Quest was. The overworlds are populated with enemies in much smarter ways. The pixel art is fantastic and holds up today.
Which is rare for NES.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, this game being on the NES is crazy. I looked at this. I guess it's SNK, so I shouldn't be too surprised. But like, I was looking at this. I was playing this game, and I was like, "How is this on the NES?" I was thinking of Zelda and Dragon Quest, and I was like, I guess what a difference like a few years makes. But like, holy crap!
Hey, GC.
Yeah.
Did you know they ported this to Switch?
Oh, really?
Oh shit!
It's part of the SNK 40th anniversary collection.
Oh.
Well, that's perfect then. You should go give it a try.
Yeah, it's $13
it's good.
right now.
Yeah, it is. It's worth $13. Like I'll just tell you that straight up. It's worth $13.
Okay.
It is like, it's very hard to explain. Like there's so many cool things to it that are way ahead. It's way ahead of its time. So for instance, enemies have elemental weaknesses. And certain ones of your weapons don't work against them. So you have to switch over to the sword that can actually damage them. You have consumable items like warp boots, medicinal herbs, antidotes, things that heal paralysis, etc. You also have a magic system. So you unlock magic spells as you progress through the game and do certain things. But then there's also side quests for specific accessory items that you can equip to like make yourself stronger, give yourself more defense. The game the game is actually able to tell the difference between physical damage, ranged damage, and magic attacks. So you have accessories that increase your defenses against those different ones. There are like accessories you can buy to negate like the accessories you can find to negate like environmental damage. Enemies all do different things. They can inflict status ailments. They can like do all this really cool stuff. The boss battles are super fucking hard. But also are super like it's like a heaven or hell thing where it's like either you like everybody does like huge amounts of damage to each other, which is really fun. As you level up, you can go backtracking to older areas and enemies will just by default do less damage to you, especially if you have newer equipment. But the backtracking is also part of the game because you will gain items and abilities that allow you to go back and collect items you couldn't before. Like when I tell you that I was playing Crystalis and I was like, this feels like something like somebody made today. It is not an exaggeration. It also kind of revealed to me like how I think I mentioned this on the last episode for completely different reasons, how little game design has evolved, like realistically, like how much of the core concepts of like good game design have just remained the same over time.
Yeah.
And it's just like it was weird because I thought I was gonna go back and play an older game and like give it those discounts, right? I thought I was gonna be, oh well, it's that's the 80s or whatever. But I didn't. Like at no point playing this game did I feel like, oh, it's aged, right? And that's crazy because if you play the original Legend of Zelda, you kind of do feel that way sometimes. If you go play the original Dragon Quest, you definitely feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And I cannot stress how cool it is to go back to like a good game from back in the day and not once think about when it was made, except to be like, how the hell did they do this? Like who was thinking of this stuff this far ahead of time in like back, there's like world state changes. So like I was playing the game and I gained a teleport spell. So I'm doing the smart thing and I'm like, well, I'm not going to sleep at the inns that are more expensive in the later towns. I'm just going to teleport to the earlier town and sleep for cheap. Right. And I did that and there was nobody there. And I found one person in the town and I talked to them and I was like, oh yes, the army came in and took everybody away. So I lost access to the cheap healing. Right. And in order to get it back, I had to, it's part of the main story, but it was clever in that I had to go back to I had to go to a new area and like free everybody. And I was like, that's because somebody like designing this knew that at some point the player was going to realize, oh, I can go heal for cheaper. And then they were going to stumble into the next story beat that way, or like part of the next story beat that way. That's incredible. Like that's super cool. Characters die, like you meet people and they die, like you get to know people. There's like a cool like angle to it, and there's still like a really good takeaway from it. Like it felt like a real narrative, even in the text limitations of like the NES, right?
How long is this game, by the way?
Oh, I don't know. I played it on and off while I was like going to bed every couple of hours. So I'm gonna say like, I don't know, 10 hours. 12 hours. It's like super short, but it was so impressive and so good. I do recommend playing with save states. Just because like, it's an NES game. So like the save battery is very punishing. But like, it was so good. And it just kind of reinforced it to me and just gave me a really good sign of like, yes, there's like a ton of stuff that I've never touched that came out before I was fucking born that still holds up today. And it's wild that I don't see this game talked about in the same space as the original Legend of Zelda and Dragon Quest, because this game is so harmoniously combining the two and so obviously is still its own thing. And it's just as good like as those things. Like if those are like the best RPGs on the NES, this is one of them. Like, this should be right up there. It's insane that it is not spoken about more often. And like, this is just me joking, it makes me want to like strangle Nintendo tubers so much, because I'm like, you're supposed to be the guy I hear about this from. You're the guy that's like, the NES was an all-time classic console, and all you do is talk about Legend of Zelda, and there's a fucking RPG standing next to it that's like just as good and in some ways better, and you're not talking about it. Like, this is your job. That's what you're supposed to be telling me about. How did I have to find this out from like an archived 4chan thread? Are you kidding me?
I feel like
Anyway.
SNK, like their old stuff, really has not been as fondly remembered as it maybe should.
Very much no, yeah.
One of our friends was telling me, Cullen, how like Masahiro Sakurai apparently, like, when they announced Terry, I guess like in the announcement he went on a little bit of a tangent about like how important SNK is to like the industry and game design. And like, I think if I remember right, he like alludes to the fact that SNK used to make more than just fighting games, and like a lot of what they made was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so tragic, because I'm thinking now, I mean, now I don't really care about SNK because it's like, you know, all that stuff going on with them. But like, I'm thinking of like, we could have lived in a world where like SNK was making RPGs, and like that could have been a really cool take on that genre, because Crystalis is like a really good action RPG. It's wild. I gotta look up to see what games are like directly inspired by Crystalis now, because yeah, like that's an all-timer. Like, I played that game and I was like, that's an all-time great. That's an all-time great. You know, it's not an all-time great.
What?
Portopia serial murder case.
I remember like we on the Friday before GC left, we were all like trying to play like boom shoots and stuff, and we were like having fun, and he kept like playing something on his DS, and at one point he handed it to me to take a look at. I'm like, oh, is that Portopia game? That's kind of interesting. And then like a day later he was like, bro, this game fucking sucks. And I'm like, that's so fascinating to find the one guy who doesn't like Portopia.
You're talking about like OG Portopia, right? Not the remade.
No, yeah, the original.
Not the AI slop one.
Yeah.
But also,
not also the original. I'm playing the NES port of it.
Okay.
It originally came out on like PC 98.
But like, also, I think it's funny that it's like, and then I thought about it, like, well, also, I think GC is probably one of the only people who's played Portopia. It's one of those games. I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, Portopia, it's like the best. No, I didn't play it.
And it's like, yeah, you know, I gotta be honest with you. A lot of times in that game, okay, I'll just explain what the problem is, right? And you'll immediately understand what it is, Hayes, because I told Cullen yesterday. You'll immediately understand what the problem is, okay? So it's a detective game. You ask people questions, they give you information. That's like the primary way of doing it. And then you find items and stuff. Now, the game doesn't tell you where the items are. You have to kind of like, sometimes you have to manually search a room, right? Like, it's not just going to be an option in the command menu, though sometimes it is. And that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. It's not like very intuitive, but like, I'm okay with that, because you have to get into the mind of your detective. You should be checking under the table, under the couch, you know, this way and that. I am a little annoyed that it's like, you can't just check under the table to find stuff. You have to check a specific like quadrant of the bottom of the table to find something. And I think that's a little bit like annoying and unnecessary. And this is what I was talking about earlier, Cullen, when I told you, it was like, there's certain things in this where it's like, even for the time, I'm like, oh, you didn't have to do it like that. But also sometimes you will ask a person a question and they will be like, I'm not too sure about that. Right. And you go, okay, that's a dead end. Right. In your brain, you're like, that's a dead end. They don't know anything. Right. Or I made that sound like dubious. They'll be like, no, I have no clue. Right. And you're like, okay, like you'll get like a definitive, like, okay, this guy doesn't know anything about this object. Right. Like, it's like the canned response for like any item that's like a dud. Right. And you're like, okay. Or it'll sound like that. Right. And then you'll leave and you'll go searching around town to investigate this fucking murder. Okay. And then eventually, on a whim, you'll go back to the police station because you're like, well, I don't have any other clues. And you just happen to go back to the police station. It's not like that's where you go when you don't have anything else to do. It's just, at some point you process of elimination. And then when you get to the police station, it's like, oh, you know that guy that told you he had no idea? Well, he just called in and gave us all this information. And it's like, okay, real quick, why couldn't he have just given me the information when I showed him the thing that triggered this to happen? Right? Like, why did you make me go back to the police station to get this information? Right? But then on top of that, that happens multiple times. So there's multiple flags. You'll show a person an item or ask them a question, and they will give you a response that doesn't give you any information, but it counts as it flips a switch that tells the game that the next time you go to the police station, you will get new information. Like, it pushes the story forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's information that they could have given you themselves, and then it would have pushed the story forward anyway, and you would have been like, oh, cool, progress, right? But you have to go to the police station to find out, right? However, you don't get all of the flags you got all at once. You have to like leave and come back to get the next one if there's one waiting in queue. So like, even if you're playing the game well, even if you're making the right deductions, sometimes you don't even know it because the game does not tell you. The game does not go, hey, that was a correct deduction. Here's information. Here's like follow-up information that you can use to continue your thing. The game makes you assume that you know nothing, or makes you assume that you're wrong. And then it never tells you to go back to the station for updates. It never tells you to go do that. And then eventually you have 5 different hints waiting at the station. But because you don't know that, you will go to the station, get one hint, and then go investigate and waste a bunch of time repeating all the same dead ends, and then going back to the station and then getting the other hint that was still waiting for you in the first place. And it's like, I don't think that's a technical limitation, to be honest. Maybe the stacked part, but like,
I think it's just
again,
dickish design, because they're trying to keep people playing for as long as possible.
it feels that way, but it also just feels like a tragic oversight where I'm like, it's clearly done for like narrative zest. It's like, oh, you go to the station and like, and your assistant goes, it's like, Chief, check this out. We got a report from the whatever. And that makes a lot of sense when you're like, when you find a dead body. Sometimes you'll find a new dead body, and then instinctively you'll go, oh, I got to go back to the station and get the coroner's report, right? And even if you investigate the coroner's report or try to take the dead body, Yasu, your assistant, is like, hey, the coroner's going to pick up the body and he'll have a report for us at the station. And you're like, oh, okay, we can. That's an obvious hint of like, oh yeah, let's go back to the station and get the coroner's report. But it doesn't do that for this other stuff, and it's super weird. And then also the twist to Portopia actually kind of sucks. Like, who the culprit actually is actually kind of like, first of all, there's no physical way that the culprit can be who it is. There's no physical way that the culprit can be who it is. Like, the way the who it is does not make any sense in the slightest, because it physically cannot happen due to events in the story. It physically cannot be that person. It is a very bad twist. It is a very bad choice.
Is it as bad as Heavy Rain?
It is.
That one's an all-timer bad.
You are so much closer to the truth than you think you are. It makes no physical sense. It is really, really bad and really sudden. And it is also preceded. Sorry. What is it to be like it comes before?
Preceded by.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Before is like predecessor.
Okay. So it's preceded by a tribute to wizardry, which I understand. Wizardry was very popular in Japan, and Hori was like a huge fan of it. Hence Dragon Quest and Ultima, obviously, but yeah. Hence he was a fan of wizardry and Ultima. But like, it is probably one of the worst designed maps for like a dungeon crawler ever. And the item you need in that dungeon to solve the case you have to access it by bumping into a wall 5 times. Like a different wall. And the first time you bump into it, there is no hint that that's the wall. You have to do it a second time.
Is there a
to get the hint.
first-person dungeon sequence in this?
Yes.
There's also one in Famicom Detective Club, and it also kind of sucks.
Yeah, it is. It's not very good. It kind of sucks that the game ends up being that way, because like up until the point that you realize, oh, the event flagging is weird. Oh, the way they're giving you like important information just makes no sense. The craziest one was there's an area you can go to ask the locals about something. You can go to Kyoto to ask the locals about something, but the information that you have to ask them about will not happen until you talk to a very specific person and ask them a completely unrelated question. And it's like, why? What is up with the event flags in this? What is up with like the switches, the event switches here? This is nutty. And that's why I'm like, I don't think it's that good even for its time, because quite frankly, you know, you wouldn't like, I feel like even at that time, somebody would be like, hey, don't do it that way. I understand that it's technically impressive. Like no one's ever going to take that away from Portopia, but like as an actual like game experience, it is very middling and very unsatisfying to finish. I was shocked, and you know what? I kind of understand why Grandpa's all in on AI now. I think that's his secret shame. I don't think he thinks Portopia is that good. I think he's never let go of the fact that the Portopia is not that good.
I really want to know what you think of the Hokkaido serial murders, which is the one that came out like a year after.
Well, I straight up might buy that because it's on Steam, right?
I think has Steam and Switch.
You played
I actually might grab it.
You played the Famicom Detective games?
No, Cullen has told me I should play those.
Those are like
I do plan
the
on
good versions of that.
Yeah. I've heard that. I really want. I think I might have bought them already. I just haven't like. I'm saving them for. I was actually saving them until I finished Portopia, but I added Portopia to my media thread, and then somebody that I know reminded me that the Hokkaido game exists and is a sequel, and I was like, oh shit, I should probably play that too. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm on like a big detective kick, and I think that's like, again, like a lot of the even with like as middling an experience as Portopia was, like it is really cool to be playing video games that were built around the gamification of something. And I've like an hour ago, I was playing Valhalla again, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because Cullen is playing Black Flag Resynced, and
he got me that for my birthday.
One of those games is significantly better than the other.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling it's mine.
And I got that feeling when I was playing Valhalla. I was like, man, I was playing an NES game like not too long ago. I was playing Crystalis like 4 days ago. I finished it, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it really is insane how like as I'm playing games from like very different eras, and I'm kind of flopping back and forth between them, and I'm playing one that's like not too good now, and then one that was like overlooked back in the day. I'm like, none of the I'm in my mood right now of like none of the shit, none of the bells and whistles, which is really funny based on what Cullen's going to talk about. None of the bells and whistles, none of like the extra stuff they've added to video games since can ever change the fact that if the fucking game that you're playing is just very derivative and uninspired, that you're just not gonna like, it just doesn't hit the same as just like a simple, well-designed, to the point experience. And it's like, god damn, like it really doesn't matter what year the game is from, where it was made. A good game is just simply a good game, and it is timeless.
I do have something to quickly talk about that's a good transition to the talking
Jump in.
about derivative. I reviewed Wild Blue Skies, which is
What is that?
a Star Fox like, made by Chu Hai Labs, which is was founded by Giles Goddard, who was one of the programmers of the original Star Fox.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I did not like it very much.
Oh, no.
And it seems like most people did not like it very much. It's okay. I was a little more on the like it's okay train than the it's bad train. I think it's like $20 or it might be even cheaper. It's very indie, but it spends far too long basically like completely copying Star Fox 64.
Which we already got one of those recently.
Yeah, the opening level is like exactly Star Fox 64, and that one's okay because it's very clearly an homage, and it's like, oh, this is fun.
It's World 1-1.
Yeah, but the rest of and it's the same exact thing as Star Fox. You have like different routes, and they're very short levels, and you have like 2 clear statuses for them. You have like mission complete and mission whatever. If you do like the secret objective, you know. The final boss is exactly Andros from Star Fox. Most of the levels are like carbon copies from Star Fox, which feels weird. But occasionally it has a level that does like something really cool where you're like, man, if they did this with the whole game, it could have been awesome. Like there's one where you're flying through a canyon and you have to dodge these like boulders that keep falling while you're fighting enemies. And then there's this segment where you fly up a waterfall while rocks are flying at you and enemies are flying at you. And it's like, of course, it's like a minute sequence, but it's like, it's really good. And there's another mission where there's this like giant mechanical snake that flies in and out of the level as you go through these like cloud tops. And if you shoot, you can shoot like the segments on its body. And if you shoot it throughout the level, you get to the final boss fight with it, and it's like way easier than if you didn't shoot the segments. And those are the 2 that stand out as like, if this game really committed to doing something different, I think it'd be very good. And I think it's kind of eternally frustrating that every single game that wanted to be like Star Fox 64 is just Star Fox 64.
It's just recreating it.
Even Star Fox itself, it just continually recreates Star Fox 64. And I don't know why we can't like break out of that. And
something about rail shooters.
Yeah. And I did go back
and of ideas.
I played that Star Fox remake again after, and I actually played it. I played it on a plane during turbulence, and let me tell you, that was a fun experience. It was real good.
Challenge mode.
But that Star Fox remake is so good. I mean, I think the more times I play that, the more I actually like that remake specifically.
God damn it.
And I hope some game can ever, I don't know what it takes, because it feels like it should be easy, right? Like you get the game feel of Star Fox 64 right, and you make totally new levels and characters that are likable, and it should be easy. And yet all these decades now, and no one has ever been able to make a rail shooter that comes close to Star Fox 64.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I have a theory now that I'm working on my own thing. And it's something that like I've thought about, where I'm like, I wonder how many of those Star Fox recreations were originally going to be fan games.
Mm-hmm.
Like Star Fox like remakes, like, you know, like full on, like, oh yeah, this is, we're just doing a remake of Star Fox because Nintendo won't give it to us, basically, right? Which is fine, whatever.
Yeah, I think
but like, yeah,
people don't realize like that core game feel of Star Fox 64 is incredibly hard to get right. Because like Wild Blue Skies, the rail segments feel good, but then you get to the, I don't remember what they call it in this game, but you know, like the all range mode.
Yeah,
those sections feel bad in this game. They feel slow.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Would you take a game that doesn't feel exactly like Star Fox if it still did something different with that kind of game?
Yeah, I would. Like, I think
okay.
Star Fox Zero had good ideas that were poorly implemented. Like, I think the control scheme and some of the ideas of that game on paper were theoretically good. They just couldn't do it at the time. And then again, the mission design just didn't support the control scheme a lot of times. I don't think you have to play a game doesn't have to play exactly like Star Fox 64, right? Like, I think you could do something interesting in that space without just aping Star Fox 64 again.
And I think that's why I asked the question, because I was like, I wonder how true that is across the board for people. Because I wonder if there is people who are like, no, I want it to feel exactly like Star Fox. And then like, they're still disappointed because it doesn't have like, new levels or new interesting things, but like they're very specifically just wanting that experience again. Where I wonder if like really what a lot of these folks should do is to aim to get the Star Fox feel they remember rather than like the 1-to-1 of the reality.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the thing outside of like the Star Fox remake and stuff, the game that I think has like ironically given me the closest feel to Star Fox is maybe Star Wars Squadrons. Even though I know they're quite different, right? Like, because Star Wars Squadrons is a like semi-realistic starfighter simulator kind of game, and it's obviously first person, and like they're different
games.
Bunch
of different things, yeah.
But the vibe and the general like satisfying feel, especially the campaign, like the campaign is specifically, I mean, I think the campaign of that game is enormously fun. Like, I really loved it, and I think that's true though. I think maybe they're just not. I think they're very focused on getting one thing about Star Fox right, and they're ignoring like the more transcendental element of it that can be applied to other things. Mm-hmm. The other element that I think everyone usually gets wrong is like the characters of Star Fox are so iconic, right? But they're iconic for a reason, because like despite these levels being such short snippets, like the average Star Fox level you play through in 1 to 2 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Like, despite how short these levels are, you got such a good sense of who these characters are and like the camaraderie they have, and even a little bit of their history. And like, of course, the original game's kind of built on that with like the booklets and opening cutscenes and things like that. But like,
sure,
there is not a single game that has ever tried to emulate Star Fox that has had characters anywhere near as endearing as the Star Fox crew.
That's true.
And I think that's a bizarre thing that people don't focus on. Like Wild Blue Skies, it has the animal pilots, and like they're all in the same stereotypes or roles as the Star Fox crew, but there's almost no characterization. They don't talk to each other during missions. And I'm like, that's what I want in a Star Fox game. I want my crew to not shut. Yeah, I want them to not shut the fuck up. You know, like I want Slippy to just keep spouting his bullshit over and over. Yeah, like that's part of what I love about Star Fox is that banter.
It's also like it's part of the action. It's part of what makes it feel,
yeah, like you're
exciting.
Actually in like a space fight, right?
Yeah, people are yelling and doing call outs and all this other shit because that's what you do in a combat scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's just silently fighting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Like it's a tone thing too, right? Like it can't just be, oh, it feels just like the R-Wing. Oh, it feels just like the boss fights are exactly the same. It's like, well, no, there's a crew, there's a storyline, there's a sense of camaraderie, there's a sense of panic and chaos that, like, in my opinion, a more modern game should be able to capture much better than the original Star Fox. And I think that's the problem. Is like everybody's trying to do Star Fox. No one's trying to do better than Star Fox.
I don't know how many more games I can play that are inspired by Star Fox. And it's just
like they're aiming for like Star Fox. You got to aim for better. Like this is going to sound so weird, but I think the best games are the ones that are made by people who genuinely go, I want to make a better game than this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I love this game. I want to make a better one.
Well, it's
'Cause,
like the same thing. Like all games aren't like any game that's like not being held back by like weird notions. Like it has to be respectful to X, Y, and Z. That's always like where you find the most interesting stuff because again, they're gonna just do their own thing. It's the same reason why like when these games were made, they were not trying to do like just another one of these or that. It's
They
like
were
it's just trying to
making-
do its own thing.
They were doing like a cool midway shooter inspired by like carnival games. 'Cause that's literally Star Fox. It's just a rail shooter. That's like, I feel like Star Fox could really use a little bit of the kill your darlings approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Star Fox needs a guy that looks at that game and loves that game and goes, I'm gonna do something way better than this.
Yeah.
Like
I think people are
I
too
think-
afraid to like go
Do
against
that.
the grain or take a big swing. And like, I get it, but I don't think we're gonna get a good Star Fox inspired game unless someone's really willing to take that chance.
And to be perfectly clear, like taking a big swing at Star Fox would not be a terribly large swing in the grand scheme of things.
I
like,
agree. Yeah. I mean, who
you could,
no one knows. I mean, maybe kids now know Star Fox to a degree because of the Switch game, but like,
you could take a big swing.
Yeah.
like you can
You could
really
take a little
fucking,
swing.
You could take any swing, really.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Like, yeah, like I get the feeling people are gonna listen to this and think that I'm saying it's like, oh, you gotta think those games are shit. But it's like, no, sometimes when you're making stuff and it's inspired by stuff that you love, you kind of have to crack those things open and go, what's the things in this that are like crap?
Mhm.
Not like, like what's the stuff in here that we can really improve or stuff that I don't like about it. And I think for a lot of people, it's difficult to do that with things you love.
I think that's especially hard with Star Fox 64 because to a lot of people, that's like the perfect game, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those games that is genuinely very hard to find a flaw with.
Because it's also so simple that it's like, what do you take out? What do you do? So I think the only way to go is up, right? Like you have to add, you have to find a way to add something interesting to it and whatnot. I don't know. I also think like Star Fox's issue and the Star Fox like clones, a big issue is that they all want to be Star Fox 64. And it's like the Star Fox is, I mean, I know they keep remaking it, but like they've done different stuff with it. Like you could go look at Assault or Command.
I mean, Star Fox 2 is playable now, so we know what that's like too.
Yeah, like there's stuff you can.
Star Fox Command is a cool game. That game
Yeah,
didn't get enough
I've seen
credit.
some really cool shit with Command and Assault in particular. But I think like a lot of people ignore that stuff, and I'm like, you guys gotta take the rose tinted glasses off, and if you really want to make like a compelling successor to Star Fox, you really gotta like get in there and look past the nostalgia or rely on the nostalgia instead of like trying to like do direct comparison and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, you gotta use your imagination, get creative.
Gotta do something.
Yeah, lack of imagination. In a lot of different respects, not like in like harrowing respects, but sometimes in just like sort of the way of things respect is sort of plaguing the industry right now. I feel like there's like an extreme lack of like imaginative solutions for things. I feel like we gotta do a lot of big thinking, especially for games that have been around for a long time or like ideas that have been around for a long time. Like, don't just reuse it. Like really think about it and work your way backwards and come out with like a new idea or like a new angle to it or something. I don't know.
Or just like don't make it.
Yeah.
No, like if we're gonna like just like why would anyone want to play Star Fox
64
again?
I
like,
agree. Yeah.
And we it's hypocritical because we like that remake.
In the case of Nintendo, yes. In the case of Nintendo,
Well,
yes.
even like indies, I'm like, if this is all we got, like, come on, we can do better.
Yeah, that's
I
how I
wouldn't say
kind of
don't
felt,
make it.
especially because like I already played Star Fox 64 again this year,
Yeah.
like multiple times. So to play another game that's basically just Star Fox 64 but worse, it was like, why? Not to be mean, but that's what it is, right? And
I wouldn't say don't make it, but I would say think on it a little longer before you start making it.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but it's like, I just don't, it's hard to justify why, especially like from the standpoint of like reviewing it. It's like, I don't know why.
Why am I here?
Why would someone want to play this right now? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate. Like we're constantly caught between the thing of like, yes, you should make something if you want to make something, but also like when you make something, like, you know, let's be thoughtful about what we're making, right? Especially if we're going to sell it and we intend to make careers out of it. It's like you need to, you got to think about like when it's going to come out, who it's for, what they already have. Like a lot of that stuff's important.
Yeah.
It's part of the art. It's part of the art. I know it sounds like it's not, but it is. It's part of the art.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like, like, okay, to be real, at the end of the day, like, you know, make whatever you want. But like, I think at a certain point, people are just going to be tired of playing the same shit again and again. And
well, make whatever you want, but be smart about it.
Well, but then it's like, some people are just like, if you're making Star Fox 64 again, someone's going to go, oh, I don't want to play that. I already played Star Fox.
Yeah.
And then they go,
same with like all the Vampire Survivor likes, right? Like,
yeah,
there's gonna be people who are like, "Oh, I already played Vampire Survivors. Why would I play this one?"
It's a thing that I watch a content creator that does like videos on writing. He's like a professor. His name's it's called Writing with Andrew is the name of the YouTube channel. I should plug it if I'm going to be using his words. And he basically there's a video that he talks about where it's like when you are making something, right? Who are you making it for? Right? And it's a whole video talking about like how, yes, when you make art, you are making it for yourself, but that is universally true. That is always going to be true. However, you know, if you want your art to be seen, or when you're making something, keep in mind that when you make art, you want somebody else to look at it, right? Like if that's not the goal, then you make it for yourself. Or, you know, when you make it for yourself, like you have to acknowledge that you are making it for a very specific, very small group of people, right? People who fit the exact same niche you happen to be in, because you are a very unique person. So you are making stuff for very specific people, of which there are not many. So like as an artist, you're not, you know, it is the sign of like an inexperienced artist who only creates for themselves, because it shows that they are not thinking about the audience that they are creating for.
Or assume that their audience is just themselves.
Or like assume that their audience is just themselves. Right, exactly. And it's like, that's fine. That's fine. But, you know, you have to acknowledge that when you make stuff, like for instance, when you're making like a persuasive piece, right? Yeah, you can make that for yourself, but who are you convincing? You're convinced. You're the one that's saying the things that you're saying. So like if you're making art that is intended to like teach someone something or showcase something or explain something to someone, right? Some like a story that has a takeaway, a lesson you want to impart, you know, then you're not making it for yourself because you already have the lesson. You know the lesson, right? And I think that's like something a lot of people have really forgotten about creating things for like broad, not I'm not saying, you know, make it as broad as possible, but it's like, you know, you have to make it a little bigger than just for yourself. You have to think about like who you want to look at this, right? You have to think about who's going to do that. I want Star Fox fans to play my game. Okay. What are they going to get out of it? Right? How would you feel as a Star Fox fan if you just played Star Fox again? Probably kind of bored, right? You'd be like a big shrug, right? So don't do that, right? Like that's sort of like part of the creation process as well. And I feel like a lot of times, especially in the video game space, we don't see a lot of that. We see a lot of, I made this for me and nobody else. Oh God, no one is playing my game. Sorry, guys, the studio is closing down. And it's like, yeah, because you didn't make it for anybody but yourself. And it's like,
Mm.
I understand that's like kind of like hard as an artist to learn, but like if you're making art that's saying something, you want it to be, then you're not making it for yourself. You're making it for other people. So like you have to think about that. Like it's just a natural part of being an artist. But yeah, I think it's very hard to divide that from like the cold, cynical nature of like, I want sales. It's like, it's not really about sales. It's about actually grabbing the audience you're trying to grab. But yeah. Sorry.
I agree.
No, it's good. We haven't done this in a while. Get in
Mhm.
it.
Anyway, that was all I wanted to say about that.
That's pretty much all I've
I don't-
played that I can talk about right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on.
I'm in the review season now.
You're in the NDA cone of silence.
Mm.
I am also in the NDA cone of silence, but part of the cone just opened up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping you would get into that.
So how about that new Fire Emblem game coming out?
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
Did you know
good.
it's like I'm allowed to say is that it's really cool.
Contractually, that's the only thing in there.
Like it's like they did a Fire Emblem Direct, and basically I played just about everything that was revealed in that Direct. So it's like I don't really have too much I could talk about outside of that, but like, god damn, that's a good ass video game.
I'm excited, man.
I'm like the root system is really neat. It's like the way it's like gamified the three houses system to like allow you to like hop around different routes and then like make it so that like they're even a little like optional in a way, and how all of them have their own different like actions and like parts of the map that they can only uniquely explore. Like there's just like so much little stuff I really want to get into, and I feel bad because I wrote a preview with Adam at RPG Site, and it's like it was pretty sparse. But like the thing about previews, at least to me, and I think a lot of people don't agree with this, clearly from the fact that we got some massive blowout previews, is that it's like I don't want to like write about all this twice.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's like I could get real deep into these systems, but like it's looking like it's going to be a massive game, like maybe even bigger than Three Houses. We don't really know right now.
I'll also be honest. I'll also be honest. From the outside looking in, there's nothing more frustrating for me than when I read a review and they go, much of it is the same as the preview, which you can read here, and I'm like, I'm not clicking that. Just tell me in your review.
There's nothing mind-numbing as a writer than having to write a massive preview and then like 2,000 word preview and then do it literally again. I hate it so much.
Yeah. You're saying, Colin?
No, it's just like but like yeah, I've been a lot of my time has been spent just like playing the stuff we're allowed to play in Fire Emblem, and just I'm so pleased. As someone who I really like Three Houses and I like a lot of like the mechanics of Engage, this just feel like a perfect blend of like just a lot of past Fire Emblem while also just doing something new. And it's really funny how like, because I had to be so sparse in my my preview, I just like focused in on like, hey, I think it's really cool that this is like so ambitious. And people are like, oh, yellow flag, ambitious. Oh no, we're fucked. I'm like, what? What is wrong with you guys?
That's
Why are you scared of ambition?
You know how people are. They're gonna.
I know.
If they're nervous about something, they're gonna latch on to anything that was said vaguely to be like, that means bad.
But also, like, it's just a game. Like, if it's not like the perfect Fire Emblem for you,
careful now. You're gonna get a lot of Walmart T-shirts in the form of
Fire Emblem fans are
Oh, I know. I've been in these trenches since the Awakening days.
Yeah.
It's just like, as someone who's had some Fire Emblems that weren't entirely for me, I just go like, oh well, I'll get the next one. Like, I didn't like Engage, but I was like, oh well, maybe
But
the
so
next
far
one will be more free.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, your experience has been very positive, right?
I love it. It's great.
Awesome. That's all I need to know. If my friend likes, if Cullen likes a Fire Emblem game, I think I'm going to end up liking it.
It's
Tend to be pretty aligned on most of SRPG stuff.
It's super different.
Mhm.
Like, I cannot get that clear enough. If you're afraid of change, you're going to be so scared. Worry big time.
Dude, I'm
Oh,
so
boy.
scared.
Run away.
This is gonna
Because
be
the video game changed some things, and that's scary.
This is gonna be an interesting discourse when that game comes out.
Oh, we all know they're just going to talk about Three Houses again. They're going to be like, at least Three Houses did this. And then
Yeah.
someone's
Oh,
going to mention a route, and then they're all going to argue.
I kind of just really respect, though, that it's like, it's taking like fun, like gameplay inspirations from Three Houses, like how it does its progress. And that's the stuff it's taking. It's not really like, it doesn't feel like Three Houses.
Right.
It's like a cool,
Thankfully,
like
I would say.
Octopathian, Metaphorian, like Fire Emblem game. That's like, it's like, the story's not really much like how Three Houses did anything. Like, the characters that you have to choose are all very different. I'm just like, I think about what I've played so far and I smile. And I'm like, I'm not sitting there like chewing on every word a character says, because like, I think the best thing about Three Houses is the character writing, like by far.
Yeah, I agree.
They just like, they make really believable people for that setting. Even when they can be like, funny, silly. That's just like, it's just fun to like see those characters interact with each other and like talk about the world they live in. Whereas this one is just like, it's been more of like a gameplay experience, and I've just been really enjoying my time just like playing the video game.
Nice.
This is also the first time I have ever played a Fire Emblem game on hard.
Oh.
And I've been liking it.
It feels good, don't it?
It does.
Yeah, it feels
because
good when you're right in the edge.
I'm like, I have this thing with a lot of games these days, and some SRPGs, where I kind of feel like things have just been starting to get easier. And I was like, I could really use a challenge. And it's like, here you go. I'm like, oh, okay.
We're in a lot of people are in a tragic spot where it's like, I think games have gotten easier, but also we've all gotten better at playing them.
Yeah.
And like, it's like when you run into an object that is also moving in the opposite direction, where it's like the impact is, you feel it a lot harder as a result. I might also turn it to hard. Would you recommend that?
Well, it's like a lot of Fire Emblem games. You can turn it down from hard to normal, but you cannot turn it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I would say play it on hard.
Yeah.
Because like, I started with Kai's route. I started the little first sections of Kai and Dietrich's. Adam started with Lita and Theodora. And I don't know too much about what Adam thought about his time playing on hard, but I have like, Kai's is very clearly meant to be like the beginner starting route of the game. Like, this is supposed to like, and it makes sense because like the other characters are adults and he's the child. So like, he's the like kind of, he's growing up and trying to like learn about the world. And they use that to like tutorialize like grander gameplay mechanics, the full thing's going to do.
Sure.
So his stuff gets pretty easy to start, but I think it ramps up a lot later on. Whereas like, and the bits of Dietrich I started where it's just like, oh, this is like actually just like kind of challenging right away. But like, it's with how big the game looks, I'm sure there's going to be a point where like the difficulty kind of falls off because, it's the kind of game it is.
Right.
Big game,
Well, at some point, I'm sure your characters will just scale.
steamroll everything.
Yeah.
And like, you know, with the, I'm curious like how the difficulty will like stack up with the like, because like with a world map, I feel like you're gonna be able to like naturally just like gain levels, and like you might even be able to like do grinding based on how efficient you are at like,
Yeah.
you know, using your free time.
Yeah.
But I'm just so pleased. It's been taking up most of my time lately.
I can imagine. It seems like a very long game.
Oh yeah, and I'm like it's also kind of like distracting me from like being excited about other games that are coming out around this time, which I guess is good. Like I don't have time to be like losing sleep over like Sky second chapter or anything, or the upcoming like Metal Gear
Metal Gear 4
collection.
port. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, because Three Houses, we've talked many a time about Three Houses and how it's like most people will play. Well, your experience is different from me. I played one route and I was like, "That's good enough. That's long enough." I am
That's my
not
experience.
interested. Yeah,
I have played
and like
2.5 routes.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
I
it's
think,
I
like,
know.
oh my god.
It's kind of like I got a bit of pushback for something in my preview, because like I mentioned that it's like it feels like this was a game designed to be played once, even though there are like 4 routes. And I think thematically that does really work with like the idea of like all the you know, the horses you hook your carriage up to, they're all lacking information. Like they do not have the full story, and they build their ideology based off of the small picture they have of the situation.
Of the world, yeah.
Yeah. And that's like thematically interesting. And like it showed in the player base immediately of like, you know, all the discourse around the game.
Nobody can come into an agreement on like who's in the right.
Well, and
or
that's
who's
like that's an idea that Fire Emblem has toyed with for a long time, not just in Three Houses, but with Fates as
ambiguous,
well, which was not
just like
not
ambiguity,
a good way
and
of doing
correctness.
it.
No, that one was not. That was the author's poorly disguised fetish in a nutshell. But like,
I don't love the Fates games, except Conquest does actually have some of the best map design in the series, which is like,
oh yeah, Conquest
infuriating.
is like an
Oh,
all-timer
damn it. Why'd
gameplay
you
Fire
say
Emblem.
that?
Yeah,
No, geez, you got to play
it
Conquest.
really
That game's
is.
fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
Fuck.
Birthright
No,
and
like,
Revelation are kind of ass, but Conquest is real good.
I enjoyed playing Birthright, but like Conquest is like one of the most stressful and fun Fire Emblem games they've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta check it out then.
No, it's very good.
That would have been the one I picked, besides Revelations, because that one's like the special
Yeah.
version. But that was gonna be the one I was gonna
But I do think
pick between the two.
and
but I never
Fates
played
doesn't have a great story, but Birthright does have more of the story, and then Revelation obviously does, but
Yeah, it's like Conquest is like the gameplay one, and Birthright is the story one. And I think you could get like a completely like solid grasp on that story if you just play like Birthright. Conquest is just like really fun. And also it's like the I think like I really want to replay Conquest. Fuck. I wish I had that that cartridge still. I had the cartridge with all 3 games on it, and I'm so bummed I sold it back in the day.
Sad.
But like yeah, it's just like it's fun to be the bad guys.
it is.
So
Like
can you tell me if will playing all routes in this take longer than playing all the routes in Three Houses?
No idea.
Fuck.
Also,
Okay.
Conquest is not as weird when you flirt with your like siblings.
Yeah,
It
they
is-
give you
it
an
is
out.
Oh, we're
less
adopted. It's
weird.
fine. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
It's weird, but whatever. The options are limited. It's like growing up in Pensacola. Sorry, Pensacola. That's a stray. You caught a stray. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that.
Caught the Fire Emblem incest stray.
Yeah. I mean, it is Florida, and that's like, I'm Floridian. I just, I can make that joke because I'm from Florida. So I know that's not necessarily true across the board. That's a lot of qualifiers. Anyway, I played Big Walk.
Oh
I wanted
yeah,
to
you
talk
were
about
telling
this.
me
I
you
totally
gotta play
forgot.
Big Walk, and I was
You
like
gotta play.
sweating.
We should play Big Walk.
Oh, I was like sweating at the time. I was like, I'm very busy and I can't talk about it.
So I thought Big Walk was. I actually think the term is fine to say now. Friend slop. It's been like reacclaimed, as they say, reclaimed. I played Big Walk with a group of 4 other people, or like 6 other people. We were 6 total, I think, 5 or 6 total. And I thought it was just gonna be like friend slop, like, oh, you can just kind of do like weird stuff and just hang out. I thought it was like a hangout game. It's not. It's a full-on puzzle game. I didn't know that. So I went in thinking we were just gonna fuck around and push buttons. But it's actually like a co-op puzzle game in the style of our friend VZ calls it. It's more like The Witness, but I'm most reminded of Myst because I didn't really fuck with The Witness.
A lot of people saying this reminds them of Myst. It has me interested.
Yeah. So, the premise of the game is the map is humongous. It's all one interconnected map. The environments are actually very Myst-like. There's like a big red like ladder along a cliffside a big red staircase along a cliffside that reminded me a lot of Myst for like obvious reasons. But like all the puzzles are I was thinking, oh, okay, so it's gonna be a physics puzzle, right? And it's like, no, these are actual like they're puzzles and you don't know what the solutions are, and the game does not tell you what they are. All the game tells you is what your controls are, and then you go out into the world and you collect these little things that we call them. My group was calling them eggs because they look like the little creatures you play as, but just like baby form. So we were calling them babies. Sorry, eggs and babies. And as you collect them, you put them into receptacles in various places that are scattered around the map, and that unlocks new areas to go to. And they're in like the 3 hours that I played, there was a huge amount of puzzle variety, all based around the control schemes and stuff like that. And it was really cool. There was like one puzzle, like they don't just like do like some puzzles are just like, oh, here's like a logic puzzle that you just have to kind of like intuit, right, and solve that way. But then there was also some where it's like, oh, how do I get over there? Okay, I'll pick you up and then you can stand up onto the platform and then you can lift me up. And then there's also like, oh, okay, we need to stack like 5 people up to push a button, and that's how we get up there. But like, since the game doesn't really tell you what to do or how to do it, that isn't like immediately obvious because the game is not constantly reminding you of what you can do. So like, it is a very fun time just sort of talking to each other and going, what do we do? How do we do this? One of the coolest puzzles, which I'll spoil one puzzle. Okay. You go into a building and there's 4 doors into 4 rooms, right? And when somebody goes into the room and turns on the light in the room, it shuts all the other doors closed, right? In each of the rooms, there is a symbol that changes every time the doors open and close. And an intercom button, and then a bunch of panels that you can insert onto a string that the initial panel is on. Every room has a different part of the sequence, and the intercom can only speak to the person in the room to the right of yours. So you have to literally play a game of telephone where you send information to each other round robin as 4 of you are in your own room trying to figure out what the solution to the code is. And if at any point somebody leaves one of their rooms, the puzzle stops and gets shuffled and you have to start all over again. So they force you to communicate in these like very specific circumstances and work together to solve the problem. And it was really cool. The starting area is very like linear, and then you get into a bigger area where they show you the map of the world in like a room with like a miniature version of the world. It's humongous. And then the game goes, here's a compass, here's a map, go wherever the hell you want.
Oh, That's kind of
Yeah. So it's an open world puzzle game in the style of Myst.
ooh.
And it has proximity chat. So and as you travel long distances, it becomes harder to communicate with each other. And you can find items like walkie-talkies. You can find like binoculars. You can find laser pointers to communicate without being able to speak to each other. It's really, really neat. And the game uses, it is basically a game with very simple controls, like we've been talking about this entire podcast, that then uses every part of the cow to make a really fun and interesting puzzle game. I cannot recommend it enough. I mean, obviously, like everybody else is loving it. Like the game's doing super well from what I understand. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And the best part that I really like, that I don't know how the fuck they managed to do, like I don't know what the design philosophy was that allowed them to do this. The puzzles scale to player count. So the game is 2 to 12 players. And the puzzles scale depending on how many people you have in game. I think like really it scales up to like 4 players, and then everybody else is just like, because like the idea is like if you have 12 people playing in one lobby, then you split up into groups of 4, and then everybody goes to solve puzzles together as groups of 4, right? And then you all come back with different with like your egg babies, and you put them in, and you all work together to solve the puzzles on the island. And I've been told that the puzzle scale larger, this is why people compare it to The Witness, where like the basic puzzles and the small scale puzzles you're doing eventually like grow exponentially until you're solving a puzzle that goes across the entire map.
Is
so
it
like
randomized puzzles
cool.
every time?
I do not think it is randomized. It's not randomized, but if you have 2 players, all the puzzles scale down to be solvable with 2 people. If you have 3, it scales up to be solvable with 3. If you have 4, it scales up to be solvable with 4. And then anything above 4, it just encourages you to split up into groups and like do different things together. It is very, very fun. It's also crossplay.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
It's also crossplay. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's really, really neat. I've just like a huge like swath of games coming out, indie especially, that are just like really innovative in very like crucial ways. I really want to play it with you, Cullen. Like you would love it because it's also a game where you can fuck with people. So like you can pick people up and throw them, and you know,
A lot of people thinking that I'm a bit of a griefer. I don't know how to think about this.
you are. It's true. Do not deny your nature.
Yeah, I'm not typically interested in the quote unquote friend slot games, but this is the one that has kind of like caught my eye. Partially because of what I've heard, and also it's like it's by the Goose Game people, and I like the Goose Game a lot.
Oh, it's by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by the Untitled Goose Game guys.
I'm
also not a big fan of like friend slot games. I do end up playing a lot of them because my friends like to play them a lot. My other friend group sort of has like this weird like thing where like if there's a friend slot game, we want to play it just to see, because sometimes we find one that's like, no, this is actually like really, really cool, and then other times it's like this got boring like 15 minutes in. Like Super Battle Golf is another great one that like falls into the friend slot category, but is just a game. It's just a competitive multiplayer party game. Like it's just a fun game. Yeah. Whew. I think that's literally, I'm still playing Cyberpunk, and I picked up Xenoverse 2. That game's cool. That game's plays way better than Xenoverse 1.
Yeah, it's
wow.
quite the
Are you trying to
especially after all
catch
the
up before the third one?
I don't necessarily want to catch up for the third one. It's just when the third one got announced, I was like, I should go play 2.
I should do that.
Never did that. It's really cool. Do you want to know something really cool?
What?
If you have Xenoverse 1 data, you go into town, and the Supreme Kai of Time is like, here's the hero that whatever, and then you can pick any of your Xenoverse 1 characters, and they'll have like a little holographic statue of them, like the full character, and then you'll get all their items into your Xenoverse 2 save. So like you can literally play Xenoverse 1 and then like import your character data into 2 and just get all of that character's items, like their equipped stuff. It's really neat.
I like so the thing with like the Xenoverse games that I never could really figure out if people actually liked them. So, but like you think it's like good, like genuinely, like you're having fun.
Xenoverse 1 is sort of like a throwback to like Budokai, in like the best ways.
Mm.
But it feels a little stiff. Even when it came out, it felt a little antiquated. Xenoverse 2 feels really, really good to play. I really, really like playing Xenoverse 2. And that game is a Monster Hunter structure where you and your friends can do missions together. And you just sign up for missions to do missions. I think they're separate from story quest stuff, but it's really cool. And you have to do that anyway to push the story forward and stuff. They don't really last really long in the early game because it's the early game, but like, I'm assuming later on you'll have to fight like stronger opponents. And yeah, it's cool. I enjoyed playing what I play. I think I played it for like an entire day. Yeah, I played it for like 5 fucking hours the last time when I picked it up. Yes, everybody, I made him bald, in case you're wondering.
Were people in our like Discord calling you like you're making Piccolo or something? Or is it tension on?
No, Cheese, very hilariously, our good friend Cheese GX said, GC, your character looks like Puerto Rican Tien Shinhan. And then, which is funny. It's okay. Cheese is my friend. Cheese is allowed to make jokes like that with me. And then proceeded, and he was right, by the way. And proceeded to dub my character Muy Bien Shinhan. And I thought that was fucking hilarious. He was totally right. I think I might give my character a goatee just to sell it even harder. But yeah, I don't know. Do we have any? We do have questions because we asked them to give us questions. We should just do questions.
1 or 2.
Yeah, let's do the few questions we got. I'll check the emails just in case. But
yeah, we'll do some questions. Then I can go get some food. I forgot to eat dinner today.
I also forgot to eat dinner.
Damn.
So
yeah, we're just like that.
3 30-year-olds forgetting to eat dinner. Gotta eat at 10 p.m.
I know.
Yep.
There's a question here that I missed. I'm so sorry. We're gonna get to you right now.
Oh, you want to start with that?
Yeah, let's do it. This was from July 3rd, so like it's well overdue.
Ooh.
Izzy asks, with all the horrors going on in the industry right now, to inject some positivity, and since we are halfway through the year, what have been some of your favorite games that have come out this year, or older games you just got to this year if you don't have a specific 2026 example? For me so far, my game of the year is Romeo is a Dead Man. Simple but fun gameplay and solid bosses. Great story that touches on interesting ideas about the negative effects of love and nostalgia. Love all the mixed media and art styles, and the OST is among Grasshopper's best. Fused Reanimated is one of my new fave vocal tracks in an action game, and all of Luby Sparks' tracks are great. Had a fantastic time, and Romeo reminds me why I love video games, and I look forward to what Grasshopper does next. Sure hope NetEase doesn't shut them down. I think you'll be okay.
God. Valid worry, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Anyway, so what have been some of your favorite games that have come out this year, or older games you just got to this year?
Paranormasight.
I have
definitely.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
I wish I had played more of that. So the thing is, like, I haven't been enjoying too many games this year.
You're going a bit of a rut.
Yeah, just a little bit.
For me, I mean, I just talked about a bunch of them, but aside from those, I want to say, sorry, I'm a little sniffly today. Yeah, I think I'm going to say Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Yeah, that has
so
been,
far for me has been pretty fantastic.
That's been a good one to go back to.
Yeah, and as far as like game of the year goes, aside from the recent ones we were just talking about now, I got to let those sit because of recency bias, but Time Stranger has been such a strong game for me this year. It's hard for me to deny that every time I pick that game up, I have a great time.
Let's see. I did really enjoy playing fucking Black Flag Resynced.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Like, god
good.
damn.
It's good.
I don't have a game that's like my clear front runner for like game of the year, but I think in terms of the single game I've enjoyed the most this year, honestly, I think it's probably Trails Beyond the Horizon.
That's sad because that was very early.
It was, yeah. But that's the single game that I've had the most fun with, honestly. And Paranorms. I really did like Paranorms, like I mentioned.
The second one or the first one?
Both, honestly, but I think I like the second one a little more than the first. Partially,
I'm excited to play the second one because it departs from the horror.
Yeah, that's what I really like, because the second one is very clearly an adventure game with horror elements, whereas the first one was a horror game with adventure elements.
Mm-hmm. I got to play through both of those. I think I'm going to enjoy those when I get to them.
God, I'm still struggling here.
You haven't played like anything recently?
I mean, Liza P was pretty good.
Yeah, you liked Liza P a lot.
I liked Liza P, but like I was actually trying to think of a game that came out this year and not just a remake.
Well, the rules say you can pick one from not this year, so it's fine.
I guess Liza P is probably the most enjoyable video game I played all year.
That's great though.
I agree.
It's a good game.
I'm suspecting that might just become Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we'll see. I really did like we gave a lot of shit to Requiem. I did really enjoy playing it though. So.
I like Requiem a lot. Yeah. I liked Pragmata as well. Pragmata is not like, oh yeah, that's my favorite game of the year, but like I had a good time with it.
I gotta get back to it. I haven't played it since the last time we talked about it. I was having such a good time. I don't know why I didn't just go back to it and keep playing. All right, nice question.
I have a good answer when we get to what's the game that you didn't enjoy the most this year.
Well, for me, it's Dragon Quest VII Reimagined.
Mine takes place in a desert.
Do we have any other email questions?
No.
Okay.
We're good on those. We were just missing one, and I felt bad that we left it out.
Let's see.
We just have one question then, right?
No, we got some.
Oh, did I miss?
Trying to figure out if these are
the last one about Brain Cracker. Oh no, yeah, we have we have a couple from before, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which ones we already did. I think this one about the handshake is new. I think we did the wrestling entrance music.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
We did.
So Adam Scott asks, I guess it's a social question. When you meet someone, what kind of handshake do you go for depending on the level of familiarity, i.e. standard, a dap with a hug, some sort of contactless wave, a kiss with the homies, etc. Dap with a hug is always the go-to.
Yeah. I only if I know someone.
Yeah.
I do that.
See, I run into this problem all the time where when I was growing up, a dap with like a one arm hug, like you come in, you swing the arm around, you do the pat, right? That was just normal whenever you were just like meeting someone. Like you just did that. Like that was just like to show, hey, yeah, don't worry, we're cool, right? So sometimes I do that with strangers and they don't know what to do because they don't expect it. And I always get fucked up because it's very different in Florida. Like that's just what you do. And then I also had to learn that white people aren't used to being kissed on the cheek when you say hi to them if they're like a girl. In Hispanic communities, that's normal when you meet a girl for the first time. you give them a kiss on the cheek. Girls do it to each other, guys do it to girls, guys don't do it to other guys because of homophobia. But like white people don't do that, but Hispanic people
not at
do that
all,
all the time. It's also a carryover from like European traditions as well, where it's like in Europe they do that all the time as well. So it's like I had to get used to shaking hands because if you kiss a girl on the cheek, that's like considered very forward in white culture. So I had to like learn the handshake or like the wave hello thing. There you go.
Okay. Hayes, did you answer? Or?
Yeah, I think a dap with a hug if I
dap,
know someone, especially like industry people that I know.
Mm.
But if I don't know someone, it's just a very formal handshake.
Yeah. Maybe if I don't know someone, I'll do like a little wave.
Yeah. Oddly enough, like I don't think I do any kind of handshake for like my very close friends. We don't do that at all.
Well, at some point you're so close to
we're
someone,
so
you just
close.
go, hey, hey.
Like, yeah, that's what it is.
I think the closer I
Yeah.
get with you, the more likely I am to do the dap with the hug.
Mm.
You never
but,
dap me up.
Well, no, I just had the awkward goodbye hug with you. I thought that was good enough.
That was awkward for you?
No,
Damn,
I was
can't
kidding. I was just
relate.
trying to make you feel.
I thought it was a warm embrace from my good friend who cared about me very
No,
much.
I think what actually happened is we were both so fucking tired. The day I drove you to the airport, we were just like, talk to you soon. It was really great. Bye. We were exhausted.
I think like for me, it's just like once I know someone well enough, I don't even like, sometimes I don't even bother like doing like a formal goodbye. Cause like when I see you again, I just talk to you like we were just talking like 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think once I'm close to somebody, it just doesn't feel like there's ever a need to greet and farewell. That's just like the way I am. I'm like, all right, see you later. And then it's just like, yeah, whatever.
Peace. All right. Well, the last question we got
like goodbyes
is from Bram, who says, "What's the best top 10 list you've ever seen? Any interpretation of best can apply. Most correct, funniest, etc." I want to go for a deep pull, but I don't have a direct like link or pull. I just remember like back in the day, there's some like I think it was like on like crackle.com or something along those lines. There's one on like top 10 weirdest PS1 games, and that's how I found like a lot of like my earliest like takes on like really weird games like LSD, and it was just kind of like spiraled down from there.
I had to Google this to make sure it was the right one, but I remember in 2016 when Destructoid did Amiibo as butt plugs ranked. I liked that one.
That is so good.
Back when Destructoid was like a thing, actually.
It has a flared base. I guess it would work.
They ranked all 52 of them too.
It's crazy. I wish someone did that for the new wave of amiibos because they're so detailed now. You have all the Kirby ones that are just round, and bulbous.
I actually, confession, I don't actually read a lot of lists articles. Mostly because like I just kind of just don't care. I don't care what the top 10 whatever is. However, I mentioned it a little earlier. The only list that I've ever really like adhered to and like gotten some like true value out of was, and I know this is everyone's like fucking like flags are gonna go up. 4chan /v/ the V board on 4chan, whatever you want to call it. They used to have a wiki of recommended games, and they had it organized for every console. And it was like, apparently it was just like, it was community driven, and people would just like talk and like make a case to put it on the list. And it wasn't like it used to have like a rating system like green, yellow, red, but they got rid of it and it was just, do you recommend it or not? And then a brief description. And of course, sometimes those descriptions were not things you could repeat on camera. But it was very useful because sometimes V would have an ass pool and recommend you a game that no one had ever fucking talked about. And then instantly it was like, oh my God, this is like one of the best fucking things I've ever played. So that was like a really, that's like, I guess the quote unquote best list thing I've ever seen. And then alternatively, I don't know. I do get a chuckle going to certain websites and certain forums and just seeing people's like, it's you can go do this. Anybody can go do this. Go find a gaming forum. Go find a gaming community and look for the list of like top 100 best games or top 10 whatevers. And like, because those users tend to be like sort of insulated in their communities, you get wild things being listed, and you will get a chuckle or like confusion. It is very entertaining to go do that. So I'm going to say that those are my favorite. It's the ones that are just made by like very insular communities that like have these really intense, very specific opinions about things and then articulate them in the worst ways. It's so much fun to read.
I feel like lists are not really a thing anymore. Like they're still out there, but like they used to really be a thing.
They used to be better when multiple people were collaborating to make it. I think eventually it just became one of those things where like you get assigned a list.
Yeah.
Make a list. Or like an influencer would just make a list. And it's like, that's not as fun. I actually really I like panels. I like things that are made with like people arguing about something and then like ultimately a decision gets made by like an arbiter.
I feel like,
and then like,
yeah,
you know, that ends up being the way it is. That's fun.
The traditional list has been replaced by like the tier list maker kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always, you know, that's one thing I never got to do when I was doing YouTube, and I always wanted to do it. I wanted to do a panel show where we would rank video games based on like categories, and they would get more and more absurd as categories. And like the idea would be you have to argue for yours, and it would be like a bracket or like some sort of like, yeah, like a bracket system. And then you would end up having like a top 10 list that would look nonsensical, but like you would have the context of like the goofums of people arguing like stupid ass points and like people like in like having fun with that. Like I always wanted to do that and I never got to do that. What a shame.
You just gotta make a secret YouTube channel just for like argument panels.
Mm-hmm.
I think the lost art, and I miss you, Siskel and Ebert, because you had this art down to a T. The lost art of arguing about stupid bullshit that doesn't matter for fun.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss arguing about stupid bullshit for fun and saying outrageous things and just like being able to just trash something the person across from you absolutely adores and everybody laughing about it and everybody having a good time. I miss that. And I'm going to say it. Influencer culture has fucking ruined the ability to not take everything so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. Anyway. Maybe one day. Maybe there's time.
There's this time to be a real hater.
It's not even about hating. It's just about saying shit that you know you don't even mean that much, but it's fun to just fucking say it and get a reaction, you know? And everybody else knows that's what you're doing. Like, that's fun. That's
yeah. I mean, I of all people know that.
Yeah, you do it to me all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You fucking dick.
That new Spider-Man movie was really bad, wasn't it?
That's not true. You know that's not true.
See?
We love that movie.
We did enjoy that movie.
I enjoyed that.
Maybe
Very
we'll talk
good.
about it next podcast
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, no worries.
A little shorter.
I think
this
that's gonna
time,
wrap
but
us up.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, thank God, finally, right? A short
Under
one.
2 hours. Oh my god.
Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for joining us and for this delightful little episode of Burnout Culture. I've been listening to some very soft bossa nova tunes this entire time, so for me, it's felt very laid back. If you know where to find us, then you know where to find us. If you don't know where to find us, how did you
How'd you
get
find
here?
us?
Until next time, stay safe, keep your head above water, and drink some water and get some sleep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.